It was just after 2:17 a.m. when the sound woke me up. Not a bang, not a crash, just a soft rustle like fabric brushing against the floor. My apartment was silent otherwise, save for the steady hum of my ceiling fan and the occasional creak of the old pipes. For a second I thought maybe I had dreamed it. But then I heard it again. This time it was a whisper. Not a clear word, not yet, just the unmistakable sound of someone exhaling right next to my ear. I shot up in bed, breath caught in my throat, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear anything else. The room was dark except for the faint light from my digital clock. Red numbers glowed like eyes. 2:18 a.m. I live alone. Have for almost 5 years now, ever since moving into this apartment in Durham, North Carolina, after my last breakup. My name's Derek Sloan. 34 years old, freelance graphic designer, socially average, financially stable, no pets, no roommates. I've gotten used to the quiet. Embraced it even. So when I say that the whisper felt out of place, I mean it in the most terrifying way. Still I got up. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe the leftover logic from a dream or just sheer adrenaline. But I walked around the apartment, turned on a few lights, checked the front door, even opened the hallway closet. Nothing. No signs of intrusion, no open windows, not even a misplaced object. Everything was as I had left it before going to bed at midnight. I laughed to myself. Nervous, shallow, unsure. Get a grip, I whispered. Then I heard it again. This time the whisper came from the hallway. Soft voice. Human voice. Said my name. Derek. My blood turned cold. I froze where I stood, halfway between the bedroom and the kitchen. It wasn't the TV, I hadn't turned it on. It wasn't my phone, it was still on the nightstand, screen dark. It sounded like a woman's voice. Gentle. Almost kind. But there was something wrong. Something off. Like she was speaking through a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Derek. Again. Just barely audible, like it came from behind a wall. My apartment is a one-bedroom. There are no walls thick enough to muffle a voice that way. I moved slowly toward the hallway, heart racing so fast it made me lightheaded. I switched on the hallway light. Nothing. I stood there, every muscle in my body tight, waiting. No voice. I stayed awake the rest of the night. The whisper didn't come again. By morning, I'd convinced myself it had been a dream. Sleep paralysis, maybe. Hallucination. I Googled it and found 100 similar stories. People waking up to voices calling their name. Stress, caffeine, fatigue, it could be anything. I'd been overworked lately, pulling late nights for a client who couldn't make up his mind about logo colors. That had to be it. My mind playing tricks on me. The day passed uneventfully. I even met up with an old college friend, Rick, for coffee at the corner place on 5th. We talked about the usual, sports, work, whether dating apps were cursed, and I didn't mention the voice. Felt silly even in my own head. That night I went to bed at 11:30. Made sure all the lights were off. Locked the door. Brushed my teeth while humming to myself, maybe to fill the silence I suddenly found unsettling. At 2:17 a.m. I woke up again. But this time I wasn't alone in my room. I didn't see anyone, but I felt them. The air was heavy, like someone was standing at the foot of my bed, just out of sight. The kind of pressure you feel in your chest when someone watches you from behind, and you know it before you even turn around. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then she said my name again. Derek. Closer this time. Clearer. Right by my right ear. My scream caught in my throat. I flipped on the bedside lamp so fast I knocked it over. The room flooded with light. Me. The room was empty. My bedroom door was still shut, the window locked. I sat there in the glow of the lamp, shaking. Something wasn't right. That morning I checked every inch of the apartment. Again. I even called my landlord and asked if the place had ever had pest problems or, God forbid, break-ins. She said no. Not once in the building's history. She even sounded offended I'd asked. Later that afternoon, I set up my laptop in the corner of the bedroom, camera pointed toward my bed. I downloaded free motion detection software. Not for ghosts or anything, I wasn't that far gone. I just wanted peace of mind. That night I went to bed and left the laptop recording. At exactly 2:17 a.m. I woke up. Not from a sound this time, but from the cold. My room was freezing. Breath visible cold. I reached for the blanket, but it was on the floor. The lamp was on again, though I'd turned it off before sleeping. Then I heard the voice. Louder. Derek, why are you awake? My heart nearly stopped. I turned my head toward the corner of the room. She was there. Silhouette. A woman. Barely visible, like she was made of smoke. Her face was blurred, eyes too dark. She didn't move. Didn't blink. Just stood there. Watching. I bolted out of bed and turned on every light in the apartment. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning I checked the footage on my laptop. At 2:17 a.m. the screen flickered. For one frame, one single frame. A figure appeared at the edge of the bed. Not fully clear, but unmistakable. Woman. Long hair. Head tilted. Looking right at the camera. Then gone. I shut the laptop and left the apartment for the rest of the day. Over the next week things escalated. I began hearing her even during the day. Soft whispers while I showered. Footsteps when I was on the phone. I'd walk past the mirror and think I saw someone standing behind me, only to turn and find nothing there. Called my mom. She said I sounded exhausted. I told her I was just working too much. Called Rick. He offered to crash on my couch, joking that he could punch the ghost in the face. I declined. Something told me this wasn't the kind of thing you could fight off. One night I fell asleep on the couch with the TV on. I figured maybe if I broke the pattern, avoided the bed, I'd avoid the voice. But at 2:17 a.m. the screen turned to static. And through the white noise I heard her. Come back to bed, Derek. My phone screen lit up. Text message. From an unknown number. Why are you hiding? I didn't reply. I didn't even breathe. I just sat there, paralyzed with fear, as the voice echoed in the living room, whispering my name over and over again. The next morning I found a Polaroid photo on my kitchen table. It was me. Asleep. In my bed. The timestamp on the corner said 2:17 a.m. I never owned a Polaroid camera. I began sleeping in my car. It didn't help. At 2:17, no matter where I was, her voice would find me. Derek. Always gentle. Always close. Like she was sitting right behind me, lips to my ear. I saw doctors. Had scans. Blood work. Sleep studies. Nothing. Perfectly healthy. They said I might have a stress-induced hallucination disorder. Prescribed sleeping pills. I flushed them. I knew this wasn't in my head. One night I decided to confront her. I don't know why. Maybe because I was tired of being afraid. Maybe because I needed answers. I set up candles in the bedroom. Lit them all. Sat on the bed, laptop recording, phone in hand. 2:15 a.m. 2 minutes to go. Waited. Heart pounding. Every second stretching. Then I spoke. I know you're there. Show yourself. The candles flickered violently. Then she appeared again. But not as smoke. This time she was clearer. Pale skin. Eyes. You called me, she whispered. You invited me in. I wanted to run, scream, cry, but I stayed still. Why me? Asked. Because you listen, she said, her voice soft and deadly. You woke up when others didn't. You let me in the night you heard my name. Now, we're bound I didn't remember any such thing. But suddenly, flashes came back. Nights where I spoke out loud in half-sleep, muttering nonsense, maybe saying yes to a dream I didn't understand. You called me, she repeated. And now I'll always come. Every night. At 2:17. The candles went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Blacked out. I woke up in the morning on the floor. The laptop was fried. Completely melted keys. Phone dead. Candles overturned but not burned. I moved out the next day. New apartment. New number. I even changed cities. Didn't work. She still finds me. Every night. At exactly 2:17 a.m. Derek. And I answer now. Not because I want to. But because I'm afraid of what happens when I don't. I think she's getting stronger. Last night she touched me. Cold fingers on my chest. I screamed but no sound came out. This morning I found a bruise in the shape of a hand. I don't know how to stop her. All I know is that sleep is no longer safe. And the voice that calls me by name, will never let me go. I live alone. But I'm never truly alone again. Not at 2:17 a.m. Not anymore.